Hi, I'm Pejman, and today we're going to talk about the one of the basic things that we use in SQL. Here, as mentioned in our last video, using MySQL Server and the platform. My platform here is dbeaver Enterprise version, and as mentioned before in last video, we don't need to use this enterprise edition of dbeaver because it's a paid paid subscription platform. We can use dbeaver community edition, which is the free version of it. The only reason that we're using enterprise edition of it is that we can use the query builder of it, which is a visual feature. So if you don't want to use it, you don't need to buy the enterprise edition, at least for this one, for this series of videos. So let's go into our platform. In last video, we created a new database named MHI, and we imported a table named COVID. And now we want to talk with our server to tell the server that, okay, we need this and this and that, right? And to do that, we need a text editor. And to do that, to bring it, we just need to go to one of the menus named SQL Editor, and then we need a new SQL script. To make it easier next time, you don't need to go to this menu and then click on it. You can simply hold Control key of your Mac or Windows and then right bracket to bring the new SQL script, right? So, but this time I'm just using this way to show you how we can do it. Okay, so now I am having a new script, and just to let you know, this one is a simple text file, and when you save it, you can read it by any text opening platform application on your local computer. Okay, so we need to bring out everything in that table. And if so, then we need to do this. We need to talk with the SQL server, right? And to talk with that, we need to say something like this. Hey, Mr. Is it a Mr. or Mrs.? I don't know. But anyway, I'm using Mr. Mr. Local Host. Bring me whatever available in our table, with which its name is COVID, right? We need something like that. And of course, SQL service is going to tell us, shut up. So we don't need it. So I'm going to comment out this one. And commenting out in SQL means that you need double dash plus space to make it like a comment. So local SQL server is not looking at this line when it's starting with double dash, right? Okay, so I'm going to translate this one into a SQL service language, right? Okay, so hey, Mr. Localhost is greeting. Machines don't care about greeting, so I'm skipping that. Bring me whatever. Bring me, here, the translation of it, the machine language of, not machine language of course, but the translation of it in SQL language is select. So select what. Okay, I've mentioned here that whatever available. Whatever available in machine language, usually it means that this, a star, right? So I'm bringing star here, and then in our table means from. Okay, so select everything from, and a table which its name is COVID. Ooh, COVID, not CODIV. Anyway, so when we say from, it means that we should put a table name there, or anything like table, right? So we don't need to bring this section. We simply bring the name of the table, right? Like this, COVID. But to make it more addressable for the server, we need to give it some sort of addressing, right? So the address of this COVID here can be the name of the database. So better to bring name of the database, which is MHI, and then a dot. So in addressing in the real world, for example, 29 Yonge Street, right? It's 29 space Yonge Street, right? Here is like that. It starts from the Yonge Street, which is MHI here, and then 29, which is COVID here. But we swap the things, we swap the name elements and put a dot in between, right? So here's our first thing. First sentence for a language for our local host to give us the data, right? And to do that, we need to run it or execute it, right? So we have these two words, run or execute. I'm going to use run, although dbeaver is using this execute SQL statement. Okay, so here I'm going to again go to SQL editor, and then I'm going to click on this one, which is execute SQL statement, and that's it. But as told before, it's better to use shortcut, which is control and then return. I'm doing that right now. Oh, so here is our table, right? So we have different fields. Here we can see that as columns, right? Like Excel, right? Because in Excel, usually it's like a table. And if we don't, manipulate things, by default, it's like a table. So here we have different fields, right? And we can explore all of them with the data in it. So we have several rows, and I'm highlighting that by clicking on these numbers, which is our header. Not header, row header, yes, row header or row title or whatever it is. And then we can check the contents of that row in each of these fields, right? Okay, so that's it. It was simple as that. We told our SQL server that I need everything. I need here is select everything, which is the star, from this table, On this table, we're using two elements of the table address, which is MHI, name of the database, and then name of the table, which is COVID. And then we're going to execute it, run it to see the contents of the file. Okay. So to have a review, I'm going to do that again. So instead of going to SQL editor and then clicking on this, I'm going to use the shortcut keys like, sorry, I'm going to use this, control and right bracket. It brings me a blank text script. And then I'm going to tell that, hey, our local host, give me, select whatever from the table in MHI database and with the name of COVID, right? And then I'm going to click Control and then Enter to see the results, right? It was easy. I hope so. Okay, cool. In the next video, I'm going to do the same thing using Query Builder. Have fun.